I found a story that I thought was just right for our show. Largest poo ever recorded shows diet of a man responsible over 1,000 years later. The largest poo ever recorded is more than 1,000 years old and offers a fascinating insight into the diet of the people from that time. It might sometimes seem like science is a bit hard to grasp and obtuse, but there's nothing arcane about this bit of research. After all, as the popular book states, everybody poops. Well, not like this, they don't, actually. This poo is seriously large. It's around 20 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide.
English, people.
And it's thought to have come from the bum of a real Viking, which really puts us in touch with the history of Britain. It was discovered in York around half a century ago and has been traced all the way back to the 9th century. They do have like a picture here.
That's a thick one.
The actual poo.
Yeah.
My gosh.
York Archaeologists Trust dug up the monstrous turd in 1972, and it has been sitting in pride of place in a museum since then. Of course, scientists were also interested, as well as the historians, as testing the ancient leavings could offer some interesting insights into the diet of the person who created it. The poo, known professionally as a paleofeces or coprolite,
yeah.
was just waiting to be discovered for more than 1,000 years at the site, which later became a Lloyd's Bank. Make of that what you will. So on to the science. The researchers have discerned that the poo most likely came from a Viking bloke, and that bloke had a diet made of primarily of meat and bread, as the poo is moist and peaty. Great, thanks for that turn of phrase. Not only was the Viking man poorly nourished, I mean, isn't meat and bread like that's?
Yeah, it doesn't sound so bad.
Not bad.
He also had a load of parasitical intestinal worms. Well, that's probably not good.
Yeah.
As evidenced by the hundreds of eggs discovered in the poop. Gil Snape, a student conservator at the York Archaeological Trust, had previously said, "Whoever passed it probably hadn't performed for a few days, shall we say." This guy had very itchy bowels. Back in 1991, another very excited scientist discussed the poo and how important it is. Dr. Andrew Jones said, "This is the most exciting piece of excrement I've ever seen. In its own way, it's as irreplaceable as the crown jewels. Despite having sat for a millennium underground, the poop really hit the fan in 2003 when it split into 3 pieces. It was reportedly knocked to the floor by a passing teacher there to study it. Luckily, they managed to stick it back together, and it remains on display to all those fascinated by feces to this day." I like to think that it was put together by that lady who made the potato Jesus. Like, I'm a pooper store. I kind of want to go to this museum now and see
Put that on your resume.
This big old meaty log. By the way, what preserves it like this?
I don't know. Probably the same thing as like any.
Like, if we drop a big deuce, can we like pull it out and put some sort of lacquer on it and like hang it on the wall like this?
Put amber on it. Make it like a Jurassic Park.
Right. I found something. Is there any usable DNA in this big old turd?
You can buy like dinosaur turds and coprolites. I saw there was one at auction. It was like, I think they said it was like 26 inches long or something.
That's a pretty long one.
Beat that guy. Beat the Viking.
You ever take like a really long poop where like you can't even see the end of it because it's like stuck in the like toilet hole?
Down around the pipe.
Right. I've definitely had a few of those.